So with me at this moment, I have Rishi Rich, the most successful Asian music producer of our generation, who has launched many successful artists such as Jay Sean and Jaggi D. Joining me from Mumbai is Rishi Rich. Hey Rishi, how's it going?
Free, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. So happy you could join me here today.
Thank you so much.
So Rishi, the first question I want to ask you, because I know so many of my listeners are eager to know, what are you up to nowadays?
Well, I'm in Mumbai. I've been here for 5 years, and I've since moving here, I've started working on some really interesting projects. I was signed to Universal Music, and then I started to work on some film stuff. Pal Pal Dil Ke Paas actually was a big film, and the songs that I did, Gully Boy, I worked on that, Mubaraka, and then last year I set up my own label, Break the Noise Records, with two friends, Kirani and Richard, and we've been releasing music. I wanted to put out. I just thought that people take. I didn't want to spend too long in like putting out music because as a producer, I spend all my time in the studio. So I've literally been putting out a song a month. From when the label came out in when we started in June to the song with Jay. To just now the EP we've put out. So it's been really interesting. It's been really cool to have a label to kind of do the music that I've always done, and just put music out there and let people enjoy it.
That's great. So, Rishi, this talent radar you have, I'm going to call it the talent radar because you always find new talent, you spot them out, and you literally give them life. So, where does this come from? How are you so able to spot out the next star?
I don't know. I think it's from when I was, from early days when I was a young boy. Some people say it's a Cancerian thing. We have great, intuition in that sense. Where, for when I started working, when I was in school, actually, I kind of handpicked, like, I think you could be a good singer. Let's work together. And we had different bands in school. So I think I've always had that radar, in the sense where I love uh, working with artists, develop, and I've always been like that. I've always been like that. I've never made the focus about me, like, it's never like a lot of people don't even know what I look like, because I'm always in the background, and I'm always kind of, I think a producer's best vehicle is an artist, and when you find an artist that you can develop, I think it's something which, because I started off doing it really early, like with Veronica, and then obviously Juggy and everyone and Jay, and it kind of was a formula that worked. Like I kind of felt like actually I do have that knack in spotting someone, not necessarily. The artists that I've worked with, I have never been like 100% ready. They're like, I can see that you could be this, or with a bit of training and mentorship, we can do this. And I think that I enjoy that. I enjoy that whole process. So yeah, I think it's just something that's been built in with me from school days, really.
That's super cool. So we all know that you and Jay Sean have worked together over the years, but for a period of time, we didn't see anything, no collaborations between the two of you. Now, recently, you've re-collaborated with Jay Sean on his latest track, Nakre, which, by the way,
Mm.
I think my listeners are probably tired of hearing. I think I play that 3 times a week at
Yeah.
minimum. So what was the inspiration for this collaboration? Why did you decide to work
Um,
with Jay Sean again?
the thing is that me and Jay have always, we're brothers. We've always been, you know, like together in the sense musically. Some people have to go their own way, and life kind of takes over, And we did Freak 4 years before that with Juggy. When I was in Atlanta, Jay used to visit me. We worked on a lot of music, and I think there's always a time and place, and you feel that. When I moved to Mumbai, my headspace was in a really creative space. Like I did go through probably a few years where I just took a little bit of a break because, for a creative person, when you're in the studio every day and you're working and you've had, a lot of success, you kind of, you get burnt out. And I think for me, I kind of started to do other things where I just wanted to spend a bit of time, just focusing on other things. So when I moved to Mumbai, Jay was like, I'm coming to see you because he loves the city. And we actually worked on Nakare a year before, 2 years ago. And the whole idea behind that was, we wanted to take a 90s Bollywood sample. And it was just literally one night, myself, Jane, Kirani, would come back here from a night out. We listened to Bazigar, we heard the flute, and I was like, this is great. We all felt a vibe, and we just started working on it, and it's that's when there's no kind of pressure. I've been in situations where artists have flown down to work with me, and they're like, okay, we've got 3 days of you. We need hits, we need songs, and unfortunately, I feel so bad because I'm like, I can't do it. I don't feel like working, and but when it's done in the case where there's no pressure, I think that's why both myself and Jay were in synergy with each other, because I think coming off the back of something, obviously Jay's had his success in America, but I think the biggest success that both of us have had is the fact that we broke a genre. We created a genre together, even with Juggy. So when you come off the back of something like Dance With You, or Eyes on You, and Stolen, and all these songs, your mind can play tricks in the sense where, okay, we need to make a song better than this, or we need to do something again like this. We'll never be able to recreate that because the time was different. The music industry was different. So you've just got to let things happen naturally. And I guess that's what happened with Nakane.
Definitely. And does that mean we can expect more tracks with you and Jay Sean in the near future?
Yeah, I mean, we've worked on several tracks. We've got a Rishi Rich project track with myself and Jay and Juggy and Yash. We've got another singer on board, and I guess because, Nakane was something which, when we put out even the teaser and we put out a snip that myself and Jay are back together, people, honestly, like, I don't think I've read one touch with negative comment in a sense where, because everyone genuinely felt either nostalgic or felt like, wow, this is who I grew up listening to. We love seeing you together. That's the kind of comments that we were seeing. That's the kind of reception. And I think because the track went on and did so well, it just kind of proved to even myself and Jay when we speak now that when we do come together, it is magic, So we are definitely, we've been working together ever since now. So it's been good.
Yeah, it was really exciting. I think it was one of the better news I heard in the pandemic. Like you said, so
Exactly.
nostalgia, it was literally like I was back in high school. I love that track. I listened to it so much.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's great. So Rishi, today, March 18th, I believe you have some exciting news to share for all of us. Could you please share that with us?
So today we released an EP about 3 weeks ago called The Three Chapters. And we had one song, the first song was Lost, which is one of my favorites. I sampled Hare Hare. I reconnected with Mumsy on there. Buttar is a new artist that I'm developing, working with. And we did that. Then we released Pal, which is a beautiful ballad by Kirani. And the video is a ballet dancer, which is so different, And today, the third and final track from the EP is called Call Me Mamacita, which again was a track that we were here. And, I've put my vocals on there, which I do. I've got a mic here, that I just vocal, thinking that I would play it to another artist and say, look, what do you think of this? And then when we did that track, we had people coming down and I was like, I've done this. And they're like, this is great. You should just keep your vocals on there, So that's why, I ended up just keeping my vocals on there. And we got the music video out. We commissioned the video with this amazing kind of salsa dancer, Alyssa from Norway. And I think everything we're doing with the label is quite different, in the sense where, you don't necessarily have to have that big, expensive kind of, okay, we need to make a big, my thing is, let's be creative. We had a ballet dancer, that's what it was. And people loved that, if you appreciate art, with Call Me Mamacita, it's Alyssa. So that's out today, the video's out and just go and check it out. Really happy about that.
Well, folks, let's hear Rishi Rich's latest track, which just dropped today for the first time being played on my show. Let's hear Break the Noise Records' latest production with Kirani, Call Me Mamacita.
It's a Rishi Rich beat. I'ma call you Mamacita. Heart stop करे baby when I see ya. Sony Sony tuni lagti hai koi na. Heart stop करे when I hear your Spanish.
You can call me Mamacita. Heart stop getting baby when I see ya. Sony Sony when I see I'm a queen. Heart stop getting when I hear your Spanish. Jadoo nachdi main lage baby fire. Munda aja jo main teri desire. Na tu kar mera cheez oh baby.
call you mamacita. Hot stop करे baby when I see you. सोनी सोनी तूने लगती है queen. Hot stop करे when I hear your Spanish, Spanish.
You can call me mamacita. Hot stop, baby, when I see ya. Sorry, sorry, good to see I'm a queen. Hot stop, baby, when I hear your Spanish, Spanish. You can call me mamacita.
I'ma call you mamacita. Sorry, sorry, तूने लगती है queen.
Welcome back, everyone. You're joining me and Rishi Rich once again. So, Rishi, I read a few months ago that you might be starting a Netflix series. Could you share more information about that?
Yeah, so I did, I did Bad Boy Billionaires. I don't know if you've heard of that. So I did the title music for that. And I've just been commissioned a new series, which I can't say the name, but I'm doing the whole background score and the title music for that. So I'm currently working on that. And it's been great, because music scoring is something, that I've always loved doing as a musician and as a pianist and a composer. So I'm looking forward to doing a lot more scoring, and working with Netflix has been great. Bad Boy Billionaires, I've got a great reception for that. So so watch this space. There's going to be some exciting projects coming out.
So, now if you had to pick a particular track that you enjoyed the most whilst producing, which would you say that is?
What I produced, I think every track I've done has been very different because the artist brings a different energy. I did really enjoy producing Nakare, I think, because it was so much fun. It was really fun. But all tracks that have a special place. Lost being one of the recent Ball as well. All these tracks. I mean, Dance Review is a classic. I think something like Dance Review was because I didn't know what I was doing at that point. Like I love R&B, I love hip hop, I love Indian music. I found this flute sample, I put it together with some beats I was creating, and I didn't really know what this sound was. And only when Jay heard it and he put his vocals down, and so that's always going to remain really special, because at that point I was very kind of like, I was just creating music, but I don't know what I was doing. Only now people say, you create this genre of Indian urban fusion, or whatever you want to call it. But so everything has had a really special place. All the songs that I've worked on.
That being said, where does your musical inspiration come from?
I've grown up. I think my mom is someone that I'll always point to, in a sense where, because I've just grown up with a single parent family. She's very musical in the sense where, growing up in a household where she would listen to like the Beatles and Rolling Stones, and then R.D. Burman, Anup Jalota, Jagjit Singh. And this was the kind of music that was going on back to back, So I think growing up with that, I took all these influences in, and, loving music, I loved, then I obviously started to appreciate pop, R&B, Indian music, and that's something that I've always been into. That's my sound. And, people like Teddy Riley, R.D. Burman, all these people that are influential in my music, So, and I think everyday life, I think, one of the biggest actually inspirations I do is from artists, and especially new artists, seeing their hunger, seeing that how much they really want it. And I think that really inspires me as being a producer that's been in the industry for a long time.
And who is your favorite Punjabi singer?
Oh, that's a tricky one, because a lot of them are my friends, but my favorite Punjabi singer, I can't say. I mean, I have many, like I'll always hold Jaggi very special, and Jaggi's got that vibe. H. Dami, Daljit is someone that I really love. I worked with Daljit on Gurdas Manji. There's so many artists out there that, like Taz from Stereo Nation is one of the reasons why I got into music, in a sense, because he was the first person to fuse. So there's so many people that have different, that I like different elements of, I would say.
So lastly, Rishi, one of my listeners asked me to ask you this. Have you ever been to Canada?
Oh yeah, of course. Yes, I love Canada. I've been to Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal. In fact, I think Vancouver is somewhere that I would love to retire.
It's a great city, 100%.
Yeah. Is that where are you from then?
I'm from Alberta, so radio station broadcasts in all of Alberta, and particularly in Edmonton.
Yeah, I've been to Edmonton as well. When we've toured there, and I was in Canada 2-3 years ago. I do love Canada. I think Canadian people are so very talented. There's so much talent coming out from Canada, and really nice, really kind of easygoing. One of my favorite trips was actually when I was working with Dave Bauer from Vancouver. I spent a little while in Canada, and I really enjoyed it.
That's great. Well, Rishi, thank you so much for joining me on air today. This was a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Great interview.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, now we're going to listen to his latest track with Jay Sean, Nakre, and we'll be back right after this.